Okay, so this is chapter 9. It talks about the three objects of the Theosophical Society, and hoping that everyone here is already well aware of what the three object is. So I'm going to try to do this a little bit different than the way I did it in the past. I'm using this free AHA slide thing, kind of like Mentimeter. I don't know, you ever use that? If you would, could you go ahead and go to this URL, ahaslide.com/cxp9 in your web browser and see if you can so everybody able to get there?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
I can.
Great. So let me go ahead and go to the next. So the first object is to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or color. So now that you have logged onto that website with that URL that's on the top, what word or phrase resonate with this first object of the Theosophical Society? Please provide your feedback, and then we can.
Can you put that first slide back again? Oh, Universal Brotherhood, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I could. This first one. Yeah, it should capture your input. Then it should show the result in real time. Look like there's only one value. Sorry, one phrase so far, one answer. It gotta be more than one answer, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can't get it in the website, so I can't do anything.
You can go to this ahaslide.com/
No, it doesn't show anything.
in your browser.
Did you see without distinction?
It's too new to us, so.
Yeah, you got to scroll down a little bit, Lynn.
It doesn't. Oh, go down a little bit.
And then you say you can put your answer in there. You can.
Well, but I couldn't even get in there. I mean, I don't see anything.
Let me see.
Yeah, scroll down.
Yeah, see, like when you go to that URL, it gonna bring you to this slide, right? And then if you scroll down, it's a enter a word. You don't see that?
Hey, Treat, copy and paste the URL in the chat.
In the chat, yeah.
So she can copy it.
Okay, yeah. Let me try that. Chat. Are you able to click on it? Or maybe
can-
I need to put XCTP.
Okay.
No,
I click.
yeah, that should work.
Oh, okay. Got you.
You will get in now?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Enter a word gì á?
Yeah, just enter a word. What comes to your mind? What word comes to your mind when you see that? In terms of the first object.
Okay. First object. Okay, I got it.
Oh.
Okay.
Has everyone respond?
Yes, I did. I
You
put
did?
without distinction.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to minimize this thing.
I have responded also.
Lynn, are those your stars, the green stars?
Okay, we have 5 out of 7 that voted. So
Oh.
that means everyone voted except for me and I guess Elena.
Yeah, I cannot. I'm not connected to the internet. I'm only by phone.
Oh, okay. I can keep forgetting about that. Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we have right now in terms of response is 3 of them. Universal brotherhood, without distinction. And then the third one is 3 green asterisk. I don't know what that means though. So some of the word that I essentially looking for is unity, harmony, love, compassion, empathy. Those are some of the words that I was literally trying to look for. And so it all describes this concept of universal brotherhood. And universal brotherhood spread across the board, right? I mean, like I say in the object, it doesn't distinguish between race, creed, sex, caste, or color. And this would go beyond, when you dive deep into it, it go beyond humanity. It also go beyond basically, into the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and so on, and not just humanity, us as human. So this universal brotherhood spread across the entire gamut of the evolutions, right? In terms of the evolution, the animals and the plants and the minerals and so on, they are indeed our younger self. In the past, we were them. So this universal brotherhood covered the entire gamut of the evolution of the soul. Essentially, when the Atman descended into the monad, each one of those monad is incarnated into the different form. So this universal brotherhood covered the entire gamut of the evolution scheme. In terms of the essay itself, David went into the talk. He said, the idea here is to embrace the living in peace and harmony with each other. But he also gave the statement from Ernest Wood, you know, the saying, it's easy to go and live in the forest, and from that seclusion, feel good toward, feel goodwill toward all mankind. But it isn't that automatic. You have to take your part in the struggle of your life, in the struggle of life. Because, you know, when we are together, like in this particular group or setting, most of us are friends and we know each other. We have a similar values. We share the same opinion. So it's easy for us to get along. However, that's not really true when you're talking about the anti-war, right? In a global community, there are always different voice, different opinion. And sometimes the different voice and opinion may not reflect our values. So it's very difficult to get along with other people when they're not in agreement with yourself or your group or whatever it happened to be. So the guiding principle that he offered in this particular essay is essentially the true measure of a theosophist lie not in a proud and self-centered intellect, but in an open and loving heart. So it's not so much that you trying to build up your ego, right? The problem with the ego is that it try to build up this lower mind, this intellect, and not trying to look at the ideal, the you know that the higher mind involved in. The high mind is always open and trying to unify and trying to spread the peace and harmony and love among the humanity. So openness is a common theme that you're going to see throughout Theosophy. Keeping an open mind is always critical for growth and learning. So before I continue, do you have any question or feedback on the first object?
No.
In the golden stair, is go beyond this one. It's just for universal brotherhood of humanity. In the golden stair, it said that brotherliness for all. So it means that it's go beyond this one. So the universal brotherhood for all is really important.
So the same object is echo in the golden stair that H.P. Walaski outlined for us as well.
We also have some complaining that why they use the word that brotherhood but not a sisterhood. But at those times, we need to understand that universal brotherhood is mean all. I mean, it no sex and it no level of the human or the animal or the plant.
Yeah. Yeah, it go across all the different kingdom and not just yeah, right now this is only focusing on humanity, but it actually go beyond that. Okay. So we go to the next essay. It talk about the second object. And the second object is to encourage the comparative study of religion, philosophy, and science. So we're going to try to do the same thing again. And this time, please provide your feedback again. So what word or phrase does it resonate with you in terms of the second object? Okay, we have 2 response so far. 3 more. Study of all religions. Yeah. So I guess no one like philosophy and science, right?
Well, I think all groups in the world are amenable to studying philosophy regardless of its origin, and science regardless of its origin. But when it comes to religion, it's my guy is number one, and only my guy is the real truth. That's why I chose study of all religions, because nobody is in conflict as much, I should say, with philosophy and science. But religion, it's a deal breaker all over the world.
Yeah, it certainly is the most contentious topic. There are debates in philosophy and science as well, but it's less than religion. In science, in science, because science deal with the objective world where you can measure stuff. So the debate in terms of science is not as contentious as other, but science itself, the problem with science right now is the debate is only focusing on the objective world. And the science of the subjective world had not been focused on yet. And once we focus on the science of the subjective, I think there's going to be a whole lot more debate. Okay.
Can I answer? Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I chose open mind. I agree with Mr. Jamshed, because unless you have an open mind, you cannot study other religions and have that comparative study. It's, I think it, you know, and be willing to learn and understand, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have an open mind. And that's why I think we're all here, because we have that mindset to want to learn and to seek the truth. And as I think our society believes, there's an underlying truth in every religion if we seek. Correct?
Definitely.
That's right.
I put the same because I thought the same with Shanti.
I cannot put because when I click on the link, it don't show me anything. But that open mind is my thing pop on my mind.
And then I think the next thing I want to put is open your mind, open your heart. There's the 2 things. The first one says heart, and there's open your heart, open your mind.
It starts from the heart.
It starts from
always.
the heart, yes.
It always starts from the heart, plus.
Then you can click on next slide on top and it'll take you to
Are you able to do it?
Next line on the top.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, when I click on the link, it just have blank. They don't show me anything.
Oh.
Did you submit earlier? Let me see. Yeah, you don't see this?
I don't see this yet. They don't show me this one.
Are you on
The
the
plan. I can see the plan, but it's not this one. Every time I click on the link, it's a plan.
Well, this is the first time this is free.
Yes.
This is the first time I give it a shot and try it out and see is it worth it for us to use. And so they literally charge money if you want to upgrade. But I'm just trying it out first and see how good that is. So it doesn't work for you?
When near AHA slides on top, it will say the speaker has changed the slide, so you can click on the next slide and it'll take you to the slide that Triet is on.
Okay.
So Elena, is there a specific word or phrase that you want to help you put in?
I don't know who's that. Not mine.
Okay.
This is not mine.
It's not yours.
Oh, I'm
It's not mine.
Okay, go back to
still
this.
thinking.
Okay.
Right, because that is.
Oh, that's the
Mhm.
way you zoom. Zoom go now.
That's my Zoom. Can you stop slide Trip?
What now?
No, it's stop right there. No, right there.
I can stop anything. I can. Okay, they're back now. Okay. So when I go here,
Chat.
yeah, I click here. See, it doesn't show anything.
Go down.
Oh, you can open a new browser. Open a new browser and then go to the same URL.
And copy nó đâu mình ra được vào. Cái zoom nhỏ này. Cái zoom.
Okay.
Oh, I can always help you. Just
Yeah, we got it now.
yeah. Just let me know and I can type it in as well.
I got it now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So in terms of the second object, to encourage the comparative study of religion, philosophy, and science, yeah, I clicked too much. It's about uncovering the universal and underlying truth. We're talking about principle and the law of nature. That's essentially the meaning behind the truth. And it also talk about studying the finite expression of the infinite. So the infinite or the absolute in Theosophy, the infinite or the absolute is literally indescribable because you cannot use your finite expression. Finite expression is essentially your words, your image, your sound, whatever that you the senses, essentially the senses, our five senses, right? We use our five senses to capture the reality, to capture what's going on in life. And life itself is created by the absolute or the infinite. So whatever sensory that we use to collect the information, it's quite limited. You know, you cannot use one particular sense to describe everything. You cannot use word to describe everything, because the more you describe it, the possibility that you get it wrong is going to be a lot greater as well. So in Theosophy, it's well known that you cannot use word to describe the reality. The infinite is the reality or the truth. And the inner truth or the inner reality can only be revealed by learning by experience. Essentially, the so-called spiritual intuition is just by knowing. Once you know, there's no reasoning behind it. You just know that it is the truth.
So it's like the Tao, like in Taoism, it's the Tao. You cannot explain that, right? It's just have to know it and experience it. Right?
Yes. So what is it that we should be focusing on when we study, and to what end? Is it good for us to study all the facts? Is it good for us to become like Google, where it know literally all the facts? And is it useful to know all the facts? Or is it more like a burden? Because what happened in the end is that you can get all that knowledge, but then how is it beneficial to mankind? What do you do with that knowledge? What do you do with the information? Is it useful? Is it beneficial to you? Is it beneficial to the community or to the public?
So Trey, I don't know if you can see when we raise our hand. Can we?
Yes.
Okay. So the question that I think reading and studying is all good, but doesn't mean the more we read, the more we get into this path. I believe everything's practical, right? We have to experience it. When it becomes our experience, then it becomes the truth for us, the truth. So life is experiential. Life is not conceptual. You know, we know a lot of concepts, but unless we experience it, because I know I've been on that path where, you know, I want to buy another book or go to another course and keep studying and keep studying. Studying is good, but how I always want to know, how can I put this into practice and bring it home to me in my life, and how can I put it in practice? And unless we put into practice, it won't be real for us.
Yes. Yeah, it's like saying, I like the Matrix. When Neo was saying there's the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. You can know the path, but you really need to walk it in order to really understand it. It's kind of like Theosophy gives you a map. The map can only show you the way, but unless you start stepping, taking your first step and walking on that path, you're never going to reach that destination. And that's what the second object is, giving us a mean and open mind to see, okay, here are all the possible paths that lead to that destination that we're looking for. And the destination we're looking for is literally climbing up that ladder and trying to, a spiritual seeker, we're trying to climb up that ladder and reach the top, right? To evolve. And so it shows us the way to do it, but it's up to each one of us to start walking on that path. So the guiding principle that he offers in this second object is essentially to distinguish the outer expression from the inner reality. that those expressions are meant to symbolize. So the saying, you know, you don't judge a book by its cover, right? The same thing applies to life. You judge a book by what it possesses inside, the story and the drama that it presents, it brings out to us. That's the inner reality that we're talking about. So the more that you recognize what it symbolizes, what are those expressions, why are they that way, the more you learn, and that's how you build up your wisdom in life. Any other question or feedback that you want to talk about in terms of the second object before I go on to the third one?
Yes, I'm agree with Shanti that the study is a very important part, but you need to have your knowledge to know what is you know that you need to, like master at the feet of the masters. The first thing the master teaches us is discrimination. You need to know which is the right, which is the wrong, and take it to the action to do in your lifetime, and to have your experience to use that to living daily and use it to serving the universe. A part is, you know, at first, you know, help your family, help your neighbor, your society, and so on. It what you can in your part.
Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next one if there's no other feedback. The third object is to investigate unexplained law of nature and the power latent in humanity. So once again, this is the third and the last one that you're gonna have to answer is what word or phrase resonate with this third object of the Theosophical Society? And Elena, if you want to input something, just tell me, I can type it in as well for you.
I would vote for the laws, because if you don't know the law, you cannot live by it, and you have to live by the laws of nature in order to be in harmony, in resonance with nature.
So to learn the laws of nature.
Yes.
I put investigate, but not practice. I couldn't type the whole word, so it just, I don't know if it showed. There.
Oh, okay. That's fine, we know.
I don't know if mine showed up. I put latent powers of humanity.
Okay.
Mine didn't show, right? I don't
I
know
could
what
type it
happened.
in for you.
Thank you. So,
There you go.
Okay, and the reason I put that, if you look at the word latent means it's present but not visible. And I think we have forgotten what we have. We are powerful beings. Power has had a negative connotation when we think about power. Power doesn't mean controlling people, but power to me means that we have the power to manage ourselves. I mean, the thing is, we have to manage our thoughts, our emotions, and the power to manage ourselves, to be the open-minded, the open-hearted, the love and the compassion. If we all recognize that latent power, then we wouldn't be in this situation as you see in society right now, with the greed and the discrimination and all that stuff is coming out. This is what's missing in humanity, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Any other feedback before I continue? Okay, let me go ahead and continue. So the third object essentially is to transform and unleash our potential. Think of it like a diamond, right? A diamond is nothing more than a piece of coal that have been hardened over time and being transformed. So a piece of coal itself has the potential to become diamond one day, but it takes lots of time and pressures and to unleash that potential, right? So the power, we all possess the same power, because as a monad that descend from the logos, we have the DNA, I should call it the DNA in us to become that. However, it takes time and lots of work, lot of learning before we reach that potential. We unleash that potential into the world. So, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, one of the I guess one of the essay that he talked a lot about is the psychic power. The third object, most people misunderstood about the psychic power. They literally trying to obtain the psychic power, whether it is something of the ego, right? It's driven by ego. So that's not the main focus that we're talking about in terms of the third object, because the third object is not so much trying to obtain that lower ego or that lower mind to obtain that psychic power to use for oneself. It's all about this obtaining that spiritual intuition, which is at the higher level where love and the Buddhic plane it's operating at. So yeah, the focus of the third object is to investigate those higher ideal, like Fali used to say, the inspiration, the ideal, and the higher concept that the lower mind couldn't really grasp, because our lower mind is so focused on keeping that knowledge, or using that knowledge or that power for itself, and not to unify, or trying to share, or trying to work with other within the entire spectrum of all the other ego, sorry, all the other monad that are out there. Okay. So Santi, you have something?
Yeah, I think the reason why I like the analogy you give of the coal and the diamond, and how through our life experience, I mean, our true self is the diamond, right?
Yes.
And because of our life experiences, everybody has life experiences. Well, you know, it covers up the diamond, right? Whether we go through some hardship or trauma, whatever it is, but then we forget. It's so easy to forget that true self and to realize. So transformation and unleashing that may take a while and a lot of inner work, and I think that's why we do the meditation um, and you know, the work to look at these things, our experiences from a different perspective, and realize our potential.
Yes. Yeah. So everything in life, there's always a hierarchy. No matter what subject or what topic you are talking about, there's always a hierarchy. If you examine the law of nature, there's always a hierarchy going on. And when you learn, as you learn, you will learn thing about the current level that you're at, right? But as the hierarchy, as you grow further on, it become a different class altogether. And what you learned earlier may no longer be correct, and you may have to change your point of view. So this third object is focusing on that difference, that knowing, you know, what happened is you are so enclosed in the box, right? So for example, at the beginning, we learn how to improve our mind, right? And then we learn that our mind is capable of doing things, but then there's limitation to our mind, right? Our mind can only know about what its realm is operating at. So the lower mind operate at the lower realm as opposed to the higher mind. It operate at a higher realm, a higher realm than the lower one. So the lower one, there's no way that it can conceptually understand what the higher one know about. The same thing when we go from the mental plane up to the Buddhic plane, there's no way you can express what's at the Buddhic plane for something that is at the lower plane, because the lower plane cannot grasp the concept that the reality of the higher one. And you will find that it's true for everything in life. Everything in life, there's a hierarchical structure. So the third object is focusing on breaking out that box, right? The second object allow you to study what is in the box, right? Within that realm, you can study, these are the material you can study within that realm. However, it will not educate you anything that is within that box. Well, it cannot educate you anything that's outside of that box. So the third object is to try to step out of the box, to try to understand the bigger picture. And that's what, to me, that's what the third object is all about. So to sum it up, the one word, if I were to describe all three objects of the Theosophical Society, is being open being open-minded, because unless you are being open-minded, it's very difficult for you to evolve, essentially, from one level to the next. In the chapter, David actually go in more detail on the psychic development and the latent power. And he say that there are only a few members, actually the public figure within the Theosophical Society that has psychic power. But that's not the goal that like I say in this last point right here. The goal is not so much development of the psychic power. The goal is development of the spiritual intuition, which is essentially growing from focusing on your mind, the mental plane, and changing that to become the Buddhic plane, where love and compassion are the more important piece, because that love and compassion is what unify all of us. It's a fairly short chapter. I don't think there's any other material that I hope I cover everything. Anyone has any other feedback, comment, addition that you want to add? That's about it. It's fairly short.
Well, you covered everything, Triet, and you also introduced us to a new free program that I was not aware of.
Yes, thank you, Triet.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. The only thing is, I guess it's not as friendly as the Mentimeter. I used Mentimeter in the past, and Mentimeter is a bit more friendly than this one. And then this one has a limited number of participants. I think they allow you up to 7. So they don't put any restriction on the feature that's available in the program, but they do have a restriction on the number of participants. It's limited to 7. But I'm just trying it out, see if it's worth it to kind of like upgrade the license. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop the recording.
Well, thank you, Jake. I think that
Thank you.
it might take a while to get used to with the